everybody, it's your girl Jada Diamonds here, back with another video, and today we're going to be doing the end of the year book tag. No one tagged me, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. It's almost as if I'm not even a part of the book community, and that's okay. I started this journey in 2022 because I was, just transitioning into a different part of my life, and I would say to fill the gap of loneliness, I started making booktube videos, and I haven't been as consistent this year, and that's okay. It's gonna change. I haven't been consistent with the channel, but I have been reading. Your girl been reading, but I'm not gonna be doing like wrap-ups and stuff like that. I'm still trying to like figure out how I want this channel to be in the new year. So I'm looking at in the new year. So anyway, we'll talk about that when it's time to talk about that. Right now though, we are about to get into the end of the year book tag, and I'm actually excited to do this. I didn't do this last year, and so I want to do it this year. Okay, so the first question is, sorry, let me look up here. Excuse me. Are there any books you started this year and need to finish? So the answer to that is yes and no. So we'll first start with the books that I have started this year and I need to finish and I want to finish. And it's these right here. So first one that I started and stopped was Either Or by Elif Batuman. And I stopped at page 177. And I honestly don't know why. I think I started this in the summertime, and it was just so many things going on between like that April, May, June period that I just had to put this book down. And I don't know, but I think I want to give this a go again before the new year. Just a couple of weeks to the new year. I really loved The Idiot so much. It was one of my favorite books of last year. I really like Elif Batuman's writing style, and I like the continuation of the story and her growing up, like going through those woes. It brings me back to when I was in college. I get that a lot where people think I'm younger than what I am, but I'm actually 31 years old. I'll be 32 in March, and yeah, it's been a long time since I was in college, since I graduated from undergrad. And so this book brings back a lot of those fond memories, and I like hearing about or reading about the thought processes of what is our main character's name? Isn't that something? Celine. I like hearing about her thought process and her finding herself, and the either or aspect, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about it as I don't want to spoil it for anyone wanting to read it. But yeah, I definitely need to finish this, and I hope to finish this soon. Another one that I started, I remember when I started this and need to finish this. I started this in June, and I stopped on Summertime. This is Rules of Civility by Amor, and I actually really like this book a lot. I love this book. It's about two girls, two best friends, and a guy. It's a love triangle, and I like love triangle stories. It's about this one girl. I don't want to tell it, but Amor, I did not DNF this book because it wasn't good. Once again, I started this book a couple of days before I went on a work trip, and I just never picked it back up because so many things happened like after I got back home. So this is another one that I want to finish. Another one I think I started this one in April. This is Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, and I remember why I stopped. I stopped on chapter 22. And it started getting weird. Okay, so here's one of the things. Haruki Murakami, this is my first one, and it was giving visceral. It was giving, the characters was coming off of the page. It was giving creepy. It was giving scary. Okay, I was getting scared when I was reading this book, and I immediately stopped. I stopped on chapter 22. I was reading it at night, and one of the main characters, Nakata, things were starting to make sense. Like puzzle pieces were starting to join together, and a lot of things that you were learning about at the beginning of the story was starting to come to fruition for Nakata. And I was just getting scared, girl. If you know anything about Kafka on the Shore, this book is it's a weird book. It's a freaky book. And it was doing what it needed to do, and I was getting afraid of it. It was really good, and I do want to finish this one as well. And I just recently started Eileen, and I didn't get far. I got on page 39, and I want to give this book a day. I want to give this book my full attention for one day. I don't know what was going on, but I absolutely loved My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I loved that book. And I think I read another one. What else did I read? That's my only Moshfegh. That was my first one. And I loved that book. And I was excited to start Eileen, but it was giving very dry. It was giving dry. Some parts were kind of funny. You know, I don't know. I just didn't like it. So I think it might be I started it at the wrong time. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this one this year, because I really do want to finish those three. And so I don't know. I wasn't feeling this. And I also, y'all, I DNF'd Lavona. I DNF'd it. I wasn't liking it at all. So, and then one more, but I'm not gonna finish it. So here's how much I have left of A Little Life. Yeah, I'm almost done with it. I stopped on The Happy Years, and y'all know after The Happy Years, it's Dear Comrade and Les Bernard Street. I have DNF'd this book, and I do not plan on coming back to it. It is good. I did want to finish it. I did want to say that I got through it. And you know what? When winter time is over, who knows? When the sun is about to come out tomorrow, who knows? I might build up enough courage to get through it, but as of right now, I can't do it. I can't finish this, and I just can't take anymore. I couldn't take anymore, so I had to stop. I stopped on page 557, and yeah. All right, woo, that was a long one. That's just question number 1. All right, question number 2. Do you have any autumnal books to transition to the end of the year? Yes, I do. I'm about to get ready and go on winter break. As you guys know, if you don't know, I'm a school teacher. I teach the 4th grade. Me and my daughter, we about to get ready to go on winter break. We're going to have 2.5 weeks off. Wednesday is our last day, and that's when I plan to get all of this reading in. So aside from reading the books that I just talked about, I really want to read or train. I have started already. I started books too. So I have began, let me look at my Libby app, because I have a couple of books on here that I'm reading. So I started reading Trust by Herman Diaz, and I'm 15% in, and I love this book so much. This book is about Benjamin and Helen Rask, and how I wrote it up, because I wanted to make sure I said all the right things, is with Trust. So far, I do know that I'm reading a novel within a novel, and I know that there is probably going to be a manuscript as another part of the book. There's going to be a memoir, and then there's going to be a diary at the end. So it's written in 4 parts. Where I left off was I'm still on part 1, where I'm reading the novel. And so what I gather is, and what research I've done, is that it's about narrative. So Trust is about narrative and who has rights and privileges, I feel like, to write your life story, or how narrative can be split, and how perspective can be varied depending on who the person is writing the story, and those different details that you've gotten from others, like maybe within your society or within your community, and how twists and turns can be embedded in there based on how people might view you. And so that's what I've gathered so far, and I love it. One person that I watch Jalen over at The Bar and the Bookcase, I think that's the name of his channel. He said it best when he said it's compulsively readable. It really is. I had to stop myself and put that book down for sure so I can get other things done. So that's one transitional book. It does give autumnal winter vibes. Another book that gives autumnal winter vibes that I want to transition into, I wrote it down, is Housekeeping by Marilynne Robinson. I'm also reading that and I'm 50% through. I'm reading that on audio. That's complete winter vibes. Housekeeping honestly gives Practical Magic. Like if you've ever read Practical Magic or saw the movie is actually better than the book, but I watched that movie all year round and I have read the book. It's giving that like sisterly, motherly, auntie, all women vibe in a town called Pigeon Fork, Barefoot. I don't know the town, but it's giving autumnal, winter, transitioning from winter to spring, and it's very cozy, and I really, really like it. It's about two sisters and their aunt, Sylvie. So you have Lucille and I think Ruby. And then you have, I know Lucille is one of the sisters. She's narrating the story. No, Ruby is, it's not Ruby. It's some, I'm sorry, the name. I'm getting the names messed up. But you have one of the sisters who's narrating the story and she's telling her perspective on her little sister, Lucille, and her aunt, Sylvie, who has had to basically take care of them as their mother has committed suicide, their grandmother died, and then their two aunts felt like they were not young enough to take care of two daughters. So their aunt Sylvie comes into the picture and takes over. And she's a bit unhinged to say the least. And I think it's a good story to transition into the winter months with. And one last story is going to be A Moveable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. And I have that physical right here. So this is actually I think personal like journal entries from Ernest Hemingway when he was in Paris. So it's a memoir, and it says here it's filled with the irreverent portraits of other exasperate luminaries such as F. Scott Fitzgerald and Gertrude Stein. He talks about memories of his wife, insightful recollections of his own early experiments and his craft. It is a literary feast, brilliantly evoking the exuberant mood of Paris after World War I and the youthful spirit, unbridled creativity, and unquenchable enthusiasm that Hemingway himself epitomized. And so I just feel like this would be good for autumn going into winter. Next question, and then I'm gonna have to go check on my biscuits after this. I'm making some biscuits. It is breakfast for dinner tonight. So the next question is there any new releases that you are still waiting for? And the answer is no. I am a backlist girl for sure. I don't want to read anything brand new. Everything that I want to read has already been published. Number 4, 3 books you want to read by the end of the year. So of course I want to finish, definitely finish those books that I've started that we talked about already. I also want to read Beloved by Toni Morrison. I want to read this by the end of the year for sure. We do know that this is about an ex-slave who's being haunted by her daughter, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And then I want to read Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. This is about a little girl who was sold to a geisha house when she was young. Her name is Sayuri, and it tells the story of how you are born or how you are bred to become a geisha, which is basically a Japanese or Chinese prostitute. And so it tells the culture of it, how you have to go to school for it. And I think this is also set in right before World War I starts. So yeah, I want to read this by the end of the year. And of course I want to finish Trust by Diaz. Next question. Are there any books that could shock you and be your favorite book of the year? I'm definitely expecting for Kafka on the Shore and Trust to be my favorite books of the year. They could definitely wind up being that. But I also have a couple of books already in mind for sure. But I'm thinking those two books, yeah, those two books are probably going to be the ones that are going to probably be like, oh my gosh, mind blowing. And then number 6, have you started making reading plans for next year? Yes, I have. I have started already with my calendar, trying to figure out how I want to do this channel. Okay, I have 2 channels. And I'm gonna probably have 2 TikToks. I already have 1 TikTok, but I know I need to make a separate TikTok for the books that I'm reading. And so I'm trying to formulate ideas and plans around making sure that I'm keeping my consistency up and like sharing a lot with you guys about what I'm reading. I'm thinking about wrap-ups. I'm thinking about themed book videos. I'm thinking about reading vlogs. Like, I still very much watch reading vlogs. I love Books and Lala. I love Kenya over at Kenya Reads. Who else do I watch? I watch Allison's Pages a lot. I watch Kate's Field Notes. I watch Pleasures of the Text. I watch Nathan's Nook. I watch A Modern Ajuma. As you can see, like, these names are like completely coming to me. I watch your channels faithfully. I always look forward to Alana's reviews every Sunday. So I have been watching everybody, but I have not been feeling like making videos. And I have been reading though, and I want to talk about all the books that I've been reading, but we're gonna just call this year a wash and we're gonna start fresh next year. But I definitely have tons of books to talk about as far as my favorite books of 2023 is concerned, girl, because yeah, the book's been booking and I've been having a lot of 5-star reads. So this is how I'm gonna like basically end my year. I'm gonna take a little life off, and basically in a nutshell, this is my end of the year and I have literally 2 weeks to get it done, on top of the books that I have been reading on ebook and audio. So we got these, we got Trust, we have what's in my queue. So let's talk about my queue right now. So we have Trust that we have to finish. We have Housekeeping. I'm also rereading Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume, because I run the book club at my school that I work at. And so that's the book that we're reading for book club. And I also have Viola Davis Finding Me on audio that I want to read. So that's how I'm going to end the year off, and I'm really excited about that. So I don't have anybody that I want to tag because I've seen everybody's, but no, I haven't. Nathan's Nook did not do one, I don't think. Yes, he did. I don't know, girl. I think he titled it something else, but A Modern Ajuma has not. So I would love to see her do one. And then yeah, everybody else, I think everybody else has done one. So that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next upload. Deuces.